Hey there, everybody. Welcome to a new Blacklist theory discussion here. We are still in the midst of a season 9 hiatus. It is
Wah, wah, wah.
coming back at the end of this month. I missed the show. We left off on such a good note. Why you guys got to do this to us now?
Yeah, we can't wait for it to come back. We are going to continue to bring you Blacklist until it comes back on. It's going to be moving to Fridays, just in
Yes.
case everyone's forgotten.
All right. Well, this video is going to be all about loose ends, big questions. There are 4 things that we desperately want more information on, and we need the show to come through for us on some of this. And I thought this would be, a great opportunity for all of us to get together, share some theories. We obviously want to hear from you guys in the comments on all of this stuff.
Yeah, what are some questions that the show hasn't answered yet that you're like, where's my answers?
All right, well, hit that subscribe button because every week we are here with theories, with thoughts, with reviews, with discussions, and of course, there's a lot of this season left to still be told.
Also follow us over on Instagram, Matt and Jess TV. All right, so for the first question that has just gone unanswered, we are going to go back in time.
Oh boy.
Beep, beep, boop, 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 boop. Okay, we are back in time in season 4. Alexander Kirk. We all want to know this. This has been hanging for so long that the show may have decided that they're just never going to tell us, but come on.
They do not care. This is the thing with Alexander. They have not cared for years. They for a long time they just refused to even acknowledge that Alexander Kirk even happened, let alone the Whisper. I have a theory that I have been stuck on for a long time with this.
Mm-hmm.
I think ultimately what was said here is where Katerina Rostova is, and that was enough to make Alexander Kirk be like, all right, I don't ever need to talk to you again. Katerina was the person I'm just going to piece my way on out. I know there's a lot of people out there that think Reddington told Alexander Kirk that I am Katerina, and that's what got him to stand down. And, if you're a big Red Arena fan, I more than understand that. That's just, my opinion on what happened way back when. But I kind of feel like at this point, this is going to be something the show really takes to its grave because I don't know where Alexander Kirk gets brought back up into the story at this point.
Beep, beep, boop, bop, boop. Okay, we are back in the future.
Hey, future! I don't have hair anymore. What happened? No, here we are.
Okay, so now we are going to be talking about one of my sort of pet peeves that they have not talked about is what happened to Red's illness? He was so sick. He's coughing up blood. He's on his deathbed. He knows he's going to die. And I know Dembe was kind of like, oh, but some of the treatment is working. That doesn't mean that for sure he was going to be cured. And now we are beep, boop, 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 boop. Okay, I'll stop that. 2 years in the future and he's completely fine. And they have mentioned nothing. Nothing. It is just why did they ever introduce this storyline? It was so not needed. It didn't actually move any story forward. He didn't need to be sick for him to decide that he was willing to die to keep Liz safe. This didn't need to ever be part of the story at all, the fabric of the show.
Okay, things are about to get a little bit crazy, everybody. So I've got a couple of different ideas here as to what's going on. What if the Reddington's illness thing, like you just said, it seemed like this was in part a function to convince Liz to go ahead and kill Reddington, but I kind of wonder if there was at one point a consideration that they were going to end the show in season 8, and they thought, okay, if we're going to end the show in season 8, we'll kind of put these sort of high stakes on it, but then after it got renewed for season 9, they were like, oh no, we need to find a way to sort of deal with all of this. And here's what I don't understand. You had Mirza on the show for a long period of time, and they sort of established that she was sort of like this spiritual healer slash shaman slash whatever you want to call her. Couldn't they have just said, okay, Mirza was able to use whatever her abilities are to assist Reddington and get Reddington through his illness? It felt like there was an easy way for them to address this, deal with it, move forward. It could have explained further his connection with Mirza, but nah, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, or just maybe, Dembe was right, that the treatment was working, and that's fine. But what was he sick with? Like, why not just give that answer? It doesn't need to, not everything needs to be a mystery on this show. They can just be like, he's sick with this, he was gonna die from it, then this treatment came in, and now he's okay. Like, it's cool to give us answers sometimes.
Okay, for this next thing we're gonna talk about here, I think we're gonna need the time machine again. I know you said you weren't doing it, but I think we need it.
Beep, beep, pop, pop, boop.
Thank you.
Okay, we are going back in time again. Everybody put on your hard hats because Matt's got something to say.
Scotty Hargrave.
Okay, yeah, we've been getting Scotty a lot in the comments because Agnes is, around, and with Liz gone, she put in her will that she wanted it to be, Harold and Charlene that were going to be the Guardians.
Yeah.
We see every single time we post a video, what about Scotty? What about Scotty? That's the grandmother. And why is she not the person? Here we go.
Okay, let's start with the disclaimer. This is just my opinion. This is what I think is going on here. But ultimately, here we go. The Blacklist does not want to act like the Blacklist redemption is a thing anymore. They want to just cover their ears, close their eyes, and do the la 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 rather than think about this show because it didn't do well. It got canceled. They killed off Tom pretty shortly after its sole existence. And I feel like they think at this point, bringing back Scotty or even mentioning Scotty in some substantial degree is going to remind everyone of their own failure. And they don't want to fundamentally do that. I just don't think they see any value in the Scotty character coming back. And a part of it's a shame because I didn't actually think Scotty was that bad a character. I thought she was pretty interesting. It just doesn't matter now.
Well, and here's the other thing about it is Scotty is, she's not really just like so small a part of the fabric of the Blacklist. So if you didn't go over and watch Redemption, which clearly people did not, I mean, the Tom character has divided people. I mean, Ryan's an excellent actor and he's great to watch in everything that I've ever seen him in. But it did not bring over the Blacklist audience. The people that do not like Tom were like, no, thank you. I'm not having this. So with the fact that a lot of people did not watch Redemption and don't really know who Scotty is that well, the people that didn't do that are not going to know who she really is. I mean, it was such a small introduction to her on Blacklist. It's just not enough. People are going to kind of be like, oh, she's kind of popped out of nowhere at this point. I didn't watch Redemption, so I don't know anything about her. I don't know really like what her purpose is here, except that she is like an actual relative. That I think it's just going to piss off a lot of people that didn't want to watch Redemption. And now it's like, oh, okay, I didn't want to watch your spinoff, but now you're going to make me watch that spinoff over on the show that I'm already watching.
Here's another theory. To quote a great philosopher in Nelly, it must be the money.
Oh,
because ultimately,
I love Nelly.
I know you do.
I'm such a fan.
Yeah, we're going back into Nelly's nook here for a moment because in order to bring on Scotty again, they would have to go and pay Famke all the money to come back and do this when they already have Harry Lennox as a part of the cast and they already have Cooper. So having Cooper just sort of become the parent alongside Charlene of Agnes, it saves the show money. And I hate to just get sort of like down to brass tacks with it, but it's true.
Well, here's the other thing about it story-wise. So let's say Scotty does come in and she takes Agnes.
Yeah.
Now Agnes is gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens to Red? Because a lot of his storyline is tied up in Agnes and wanting to protect her, and he loves her, and he wants to have a relationship with her, and a lot of the best stuff that's been happening this season is his interactions with Agnes. So Scotty shows up, shouldn't have any other storyline except to show up and take Agnes away. I feel like it's going to be taking away a really important storyline that I think a lot of us have enjoyed.
Okay, so the final loose end question here.
Beep, beep, bop, boop.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we are back in the future.
I was about to leave us in the past.
Who is Reddington? Oh, this has been going on all season.
Yeah.
Who is Reddington actually? And yes, there is a good portion of people out there that feel that this has been answered conclusively.
Yes.
That Reddington is Katarina. I do not believe that it has been answered conclusively. Until the moment that he actually says the words, nothing is conclusive. This is TV. TV can do anything that they want to bring anybody back from the dead. It is very much fluid on TV. Unless somebody says it, it's not conclusive.
I think ultimately, number one, we're going to be waiting on this forever. Number two, I agree with you. Number three, it has been established that I'm not someone who fully believes in the Red Arena theory. I understand the arguments for it. I'm not taking away from the arguments for it.
Yes, the show has heavily hinted at it.
But they also showed, like, back at the end of last season, some dude in, like, the fire, you get, like, a tiny glimpse of that sort of looked a lot like it could be sort of a younger Spader. And I think there's still room for interpretation. You can still interpret the ending of Liz's life as, okay, she's remembering Katarina, who was an important part of her life, Reddington, who was an important part of her life.
Absolutely.
It didn't necessarily have to mean that the two were one and the same. The problem now that we sort of come into is just, how are we going to get to answers? Because it certainly doesn't seem like anyone on the show right now is altogether obsessed with figuring out Reddington's identity.
No. There's nobody really left that cares that much to go to any sort of lengths to figure out who he really is. The people that know already know, and everyone else is like, it doesn't really matter who he is, who he was. It's the person that I'm here with now, and it doesn't matter. Like, I'm just with you in the present. So nobody else is digging into this anymore. So to me, I'm kind of like, well, then how do we ever get those answers? If we do, it's not going to be till the very final episode of the whole series. But after seeing that season 8 finale, I truly don't think they're ever going to answer this question. They are just going to dangle us along for a ride.
A part of me wants to believe they will in the series finale, but I think realistically there's a good chance that what you said is true. That I think they're just going to be like, okay, we want this to be up for interpretation because no matter what answer we give you, people are going to be mad about it.
And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I don't have to love the ending that somebody chose.
Yeah.
But I think that it's just, you have to choose something. These sort of open-ended endings where it's like, it's whatever you want it to be is such a cop-out, like what happened over on Blind Spot, where I was just like, really? Yeah. We went on this whole journey for you to give it to, it's up to whatever you think it is. You're welcome. I'm just like, come on, man, make a commitment. If not everyone loves it, that's okay. Because that's how it works. Not everyone's going to love it, but they will still love the journey that they were on.
Tony Soprano is dead. There you go. That is don't Sopranos this ending. That's the canon ending for the Sopranos, but it doesn't. All these sort of things just get really, really frustrating to viewers. We want conclusive journeys. We want a beginning. We want a middle.
Yes.
We want an end.
Yes, not up to interpretation of whatever we feel like.
Okay, well, those are our big questions. Our answers to those questions.
Yeah, that's just obviously this is just our opinion.
Yeah.
But I do feel like these are some questions that people have had for a while, and if there's other ones, let us know what you're kind of sitting on waiting to find out about.
All right, well, hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you here next time.